Your business.
It's not sharing. I heard it, but it's not playing. Hold on. 3 times a charm, they say.
Nope.
Yeah, it's not playing.
Well, I would just talk about it. Black Wall Street came about in the late 1800s. I want to say 1898 or 1899. That's when most people started migrating to Tulsa, Oklahoma. When they first started going to Oklahoma, when black folks got their, pretty much their pensions of being free from slavery, they started to move around in Oklahoma. And when they moved into Oklahoma, they moved into certain parts of cities of Oklahoma where it was predominantly white, and they didn't want blacks living there because they themselves hadn't really got over the fact that blacks were freed at that time. So what happened is, so blacks couldn't be amongst the blacks couldn't be amongst those white people. So what they did is,
a mob of 10,000 descended on the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, then the richest black neighborhood in the entire United States. Hundreds of black residents were murdered in what became the deadliest massacre on American soil since the Civil War. The Tulsa Massacre is one of the most tragic and disturbing incidents of racial violence in U.S. history, yet it's rarely mentioned in the history books. Today, we're going to take a look at how a racist mob destroyed America's richest black neighborhood. An early 20th century oil boom drew people to Oklahoma. By 1920, the population of Tulsa was over 100,000 and growing, with many of the new residents being black. Existing racial tensions were escalating, and whites who were concerned about having to let black people into their neighborhoods for the first time didn't exactly roll out the welcome wagon. Instead, they sprang into action, and in August of 1916, the city passed a residential segregation ordinance. The new law, once enacted, prevented blacks from living on any block where 75% of the other residents were white. Black citizens would have to look for a home elsewhere. The black district of Tulsa was called Greenwood. Despite legal segregation, the neighborhood and its population thrived. Greenwood had 2 independent newspapers and was filled with black-owned businesses, including the largest black-owned hotel in the country. Booker T. Washington was so impressed with Greenwood, he called it the Negro Wall Street. It all started on May 30th, 1921, when a 19-year-old shoeshiner named Dick Rowland entered the Drexel Building, an office located at 319 South Main Street in Tulsa. He needed to use a public bathroom, but because he was black, segregation laws restricted him to using facilities located at the top of the building. Getting there required taking the elevator, and that's where Dick encountered the elevator operator, a 17-year-old white woman named Sarah Page. Whether or not Dick Rowland and Sarah Page knew each other is a matter of debate. What happened in the elevator that day is also unknown. An article in the Tulsa Tribune reported that Rowland attacked Page, scratching her hands and face and tearing her clothes. Conversely, author Mary Parrish, writing less than a year after the events, reported that the black man had merely stepped on the girl's shoes by accident. What is known is that a clerk in a nearby department store heard what he thought was a woman screaming. He went to investigate and saw a young black man run from the building. Then he found Page in the elevator. She was said to be in a state of distress, so the clerk concluded she had been attacked and reported as much to the police. The contents of Sarah Page's statements to the police have been lost, but she did decline pressing charges, and no manhunt was conducted. Rowland, however, knew that the mere accusation of attacking a white woman could make him the target of an angry white mob. He fled to his mother's house in Greenwood. Rowland was located by police and arrested shortly thereafter. The white-owned Tulsa Tribune, known for its sensationalist takes, broke the story in their afternoon edition with the incendiary headline, "Nab Negro for Attacking Girl in an Elevator." Rumors that Rowland would be lynched spread like wildfire, and by 7:30 p.m. on May 31st, hundreds of white residents had gathered outside the courthouse. Only a year earlier, a small mob lynched a white murder suspect named Roy Belton, and the newly elected local sheriff, Willard M. McCullough, was looking to avoid a similar incident. At approximately 8:30 p.m., 3 white men entered the courthouse and demanded Rowland be handed over to them. McCullough refused and sent the men back out. By 9:30 p.m., the crowd had swelled to thousands. The sheriff was vastly outnumbered. It was about this time that a group of 50 to 60 armed black citizens arrived to support the sheriff. He turned down their offer, but their arrival had prompted many of the white citizens to head home for their own guns. Some even attempted to steal arms from a nearby National Guard armory. At 10 p.m., a second group of armed black citizens arrived to support the sheriff, but were turned away as well. As they were leaving the courthouse, a white man approached a black war veteran, calling him a racial slur, and tried to take his gun. A shot rang out, and then all hell broke loose. Both sides began to fire, but the small group of black citizens was outnumbered 20 to 1, and they retreated towards Greenwood. The gunfight followed them the whole way, and the whites used it as an excuse to massacre innocent black citizens. One unarmed black man was even chased into a theater and murdered on the stage. Calling the incident a Negro uprising, the local police deputized almost 500 white men, many of whom had been members of the lynch mob that had created the whole situation in the first place. The new deputies were instructed to arm themselves and were then ordered to shoot blacks in the streets. Meanwhile, a white mob headed for Greenwood. The mob descended on Greenwood with a fury, burning houses and businesses. By the morning of June 1st, the mob had grown to approximately 10,000 white citizens. They poured into the district, looting, destroying, and murdering black residents by the hundreds. Other armed whites were breaking into black homes and arresting the residents. Any who dared resist would be immediately killed. Buck Colbert Franklin, a Tulsa resident and lawyer, was a witness to the destruction of Greenwood. He recalled hearing something that sounded like hail falling on the roof of his office building. He looked out the window and saw a hotel on fire. It was burning from the top down. Then he noticed a second building, and then a third, then others, all burning from the top down. As he stood and watched, he noticed planes circling overhead, maybe a dozen or more in number. Through a thick cloud of smoke, he could see them drop what he called burning turpentine balls on the tops of various businesses and homes. Immediately, he knew all too well why every burning building first caught from the top. At the same time, other reports hold that white men fired guns from the planes, shooting black residents as they walked along the ground. The planes, as it would turn out, were military biplane trainers from World War I had lifted off from Curtis Southwest Field, just outside the city. Law enforcement officials subsequently said the planes were protection, but the survivors of the massacre knew better. The mob burned everything. Hotels, restaurants, grocery stores, doctors' offices, pharmacies, a public library, a dozen churches, and over 1,000 private homes. As Franklin watched, he wondered where Tulsa's splendid fire department was and considered the possibility the city was in league with the racist mob. By the time the sun came up, the National Guard had arrived to restore order. However, instead of targeting the white mob, many of the troops went after the black residents instead. Over 6,000 people were arrested and imprisoned at Convention Hall, and not a single one was white. On June 1st, 1921, Greenwood was still burning. Thousands of black residents had been imprisoned, hundreds more were dead, and to add insult to injury, the Morning Tulsa Daily World's headline for the day was, "Two Whites Dead in Race Riots." The article claimed that 500 armed whites had heroically held off 1,000 armed blacks. Later in the day, a different headline added fuel to the fire by exclaiming, "Many more whites shot." The black lives that had been lost were completely disregarded by the media, and the stage was set for the grand jury to hang the blame for the whole thing on the people of Greenwood. The Stratford Hotel was the largest business of its kind owned by a black person in the U.S. prior to the Civil Rights era. Stratford's hotel had 54 rooms equipped with luxuries like crystal chandeliers and was worth somewhere in the area of $75,000, which is roughly the equivalent of about $1 million current dollars. Nonetheless, it was destroyed along with the rest of Greenwood during the massacre. In a just world, Stratford would have received restitution for his loss, but 1921 Tulsa was anything but just. Stratford was arrested, along with 69 other men, and charged with inciting the riot that ultimately burned down his own hotel. He would later jump bail and flee the state to avoid being lynched. Stratford went on to be a lawyer in Chicago and never returned to Oklahoma. He was finally cleared of the charges against him in 1996, 60 years after he passed away. By the time it was all over, the neighborhood once known as the Black Wall Street was uninhabitable. Black businessmen and homeowners were denied relief by the courts, and their insurance companies refused to cover the damage. Dick Rowland was never charged in connection with the incident in the elevator. He eventually left Tulsa and never returned. Looking back, many speculate that the alleged attack on Sarah Page was merely a pretext for Tulsa's white residents to destroy a successful black community they had always hated. The massacre became a celebrated event in some quarters. Postcards commemorating the violence and destruction even circulated among some white collectors. As Paul Gardulo, a curator at the National Museum of African American History and Culture, points out, the truth of the matter has to do with the threat that black power, black economic power, black cultural power, black success posed to individuals and the whole system of white supremacy. In 2001, an investigation held the city partly responsible for the Greenwood massacre, finding that the police themselves were actively involved in the mob violence. The city of Tulsa was ordered to pay reparations to the survivors of the massacre and their descendants. As of 2020, they have still not been paid.
That's crazy. That's
Wow.
crazy.
That is crazy.
There's some, what a lot of people don't know about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is that there was a mutual fund business called Durham, North Carolina. That sounds kind of crazy, but that was the name of it, and it was founded in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But it was owned by black business. There was also a bank by the name of Mechanics Farmers Bank, and it was owned by white people. But it was inside of Black Wall Street, and North Carolina Mutual went out and purchased it from the white company. That's just how much money was circulating through through Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Black Wall Street. There's a museum that is in remembrance of Black Wall Street called the Pathway of Hope. Booker T. Washington is the individual who named it Black Wall Street. And the individual who actually had the first building built
on Black Wall Street and was the richest individual there. His name is Mr. Gurley, and he started it in 1906. That'll end my show, but I just want to say that it's amazing how we can give reparations to Jewish people. We can give I'm sorry, but the Holocaust didn't happen in the United States. The Holocaust happened in Germany. And if anybody should be giving Jewish people reparations, it should be Germany. And we also give reparations to Japan. Yeah, I think it's Japan for the Pearl Harbor and then the bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Here it is, all these years that these people have been, and these nations of people been getting reparations from the United States. Here it is, we were in this country where we were tortured and murdered and still being done to this day. Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Black Wall Street, those family members should be entitled to reparations because those folks were minding their own business. And even to this day, they just said it. They were so jealous that Black folks were thriving, even when they were, even though that they were not giving us anything, that we were thriving without them, that it irked them so bad that they just needed for a white lady to have her shoes stepped on in a goddamn elevator to try to have all. Do you know that only 10 Blacks died in that massacre and 300 Black people were killed in that massacre? Those folks just read that was the most heinous murder in the United States of America's history, other than World War I. Other than the Civil War. That's crazy. But every time we turn around, sorry, no disrespect to the lives that were lost in 9/11, but that was our 9/11 right there. And I'm sorry if you can't put that in the history books of all the heinous things that y'all have done to every nationality here on the planet, then you need to take 9/11 out of that shit, out of the history books. You need to take all that bullshit that y'all give us with these, how y'all came over here peacefully talking to the Indians and they just gave you their land. Stop it. Y'all are mass murderers, and that is what y'all do. Tony, get me off of this, man. This has me pissed off. Get me out of here.
But legacy, you gotta always remember, they will never put us in the history books because, as they said, slaves was considered property, not people.
Well, thank you, Legacy.
We were never slaves, so I don't know. That's what they call it, but we were never slaves. We were kings and queens.
In America, that's what they brought you down to where you were nothing but property.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you cannot go by their book.
I told you
Tony,
Tuesday.
you glitching.
Like I told you Tuesday, they didn't steal slaves. They stole scientists, doctors, architects, astronauts, astronomers, teachers, entrepreneurs, fathers and mothers, daughters, sons, etc. And then they made them slaves. But again, thank you, Mr. Legacy, for your contribution for Black History Month, Black History, our history. We appreciate you so much.
Give a shout out to my cousin Gucci Black that just hit me up on that thing. Yeah, them Indians, they went through it too, cuz.
Okay. But anyway,
but they getting paid.
Okay. I also want to give a special shout out, and we can get right into today's topic real quick. But I want to give a shout out to some birthdays. We have some birthdays this month in February. I want to give a special shout out to Miss Annie Pearl, Miss Paula Annie Pearl. She has a bakery on the trail right off of Community Drive in the Domino's Pizza Plaza. So cakes, etc. So happy birthday, Miss Annie Pearl.
Happy birthday.
Also, to Catalina Davenport Dupree.
Ooh, get it, sis. Happy birthday.
Also, a member of the trans community. She does, she's a makeup artist, hairstylist, and a choreographer. An excellent dancer. Happy birthday, Catalina.
Happy birthday.
Last but not least, they call him Too Hype in the streets, but Cordell Nance. Cordell, happy birthday. He's like
happy birthday.
a good friend, a great friend, actually, a father, a husband. Well, happy birthday, Cordell.
Birthday. Happy birthday.
What about yours, bro? You ain't gonna put you up there?
Oh, my birthday was the 10th. So
It still count, baby. It still count.
Happy belated.
my birthday was the 10th. So I'm 21 now. I can drink.
I know that's right.
I'm able to drink now. Okay. Let me see here. I got something else I wanted to show y'all really, really quick. Remember last Tuesday, I think it was, we had spoke briefly about the Gorilla Glue girl?
Mm-hmm.
The Gorilla Glue on her hair? Where here's the follow-up. I know she is happy.
You see how grateful that girl was? Oh, you only have to cut my ponytails out. Bitch, you didn't have to put glue in your head.
Exactly.
My biscuit.
Did she ever show her
face? Your biscuit need to get out.
You was just out last week.
No, I'm serving eviction notice for this baby. He about to get a whole eviction notice. Oh God. Legacy know everybody, I swear.
She said he got 22 grand on GoFundMe.
Yeah.
TeAma.
What?
Y'all gonna do that right quick? We can cut that check.
Listen, I'm telling you, let
cut your mind, right? Like,
let my hair fall out. I swear to God, I'm gonna glue that shit in, and I know it's just for life.
Okay.
Let my hair fall out. She ain't do nothing but teach me. I'm keeping all my hair.
I know that.
Hey, look, bitch, I'm gluing the edges and all. Don't play with me.
Miss Mill.
Yeah. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Start answering him, Miss Mill.
She already did it, but I was laughing too hard. I had you there. I had you.
We want Ms. Nikki to tell us a little about her business, and then we're going to go into this discussion, and they're going to tell their individual stories. So, Nikki, tell us about your business.
Okay, so I sell hair extensions and wigs. And I started this company because I was a very simple girl. And one day I decided that I wanted to, like look better, be better, wear some hair. And I ordered some hair from this company who I thought was very reputable. And when I got the hair, it wasn't good quality hair. It was synthetic. I can't put that stuff on my head. So I started this business for all the women out there who look for quality, premium quality hair. You want to be cute. You want to be pretty. My company logo is Be Bold, Be Beautiful, Be You. And that's whatever it is for you that you feel like you need to be. You don't need to be nothing that nobody else wants you to be. Just be you. And that's what my company represents.
Okay. And is that your correct information at the bottom of the screen?
Huh?
Is that your correct information at the bottom of the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can follow me. My website is www.signatureHairBoutique.com. That's where you'll find the product. And then at Facebook at Signature Hair Boutique, and Instagram is _Signature Hair Boutique.
So you just exclusively just hair? Just is it the real hair?
It's human hair extension. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I also make custom wigs as well.
Oh,
so y'all hit me up on Facebook. You can get me through Facebook Messenger if you have any questions, comments, anything like that.
Okay.
Do you think? Do you think?
I know that's right.
Do you think?
Oh, and I'm wearing my hair too, just so y'all know this is me all day long.
And that looks real good.
It does. And I've had it for a while.
Okay. So your hair, you can basically, I guess, like human hair, wash it out and reuse it.
Yeah, I literally wash it, put it up, and reuse it whenever I get ready. This is the headband wig, so you could kind of like do whatever you want to do with it. Like,
hold on. How
Lord.
How much would that cost?
Here we go.
For somebody to purchase that?
Okay, so this unit is in 20 inches. This is $280 on my site.
And that's 20.
But it's an investment. You got to think of it as an investment
No, I
because
don't.
you can use
That's
it
not
over and over and over again.
I love you, Harry.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say this not because that's not my place. But 280.
It's expensive because it's human hair and it's quality.
I go shave some of that dog hair I got back there and
Can you
mend it
put
together.
Legacy in timeout already?
Yes.
He started. Put his ass in timeout. He started.
Okay.
See, Miss Millie, we got a timeout button over here.
Oh boy, Miss Millie, you want to tell us about your business and what you're doing right now?
You talking? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
One, I want to apologize for being in the dark. But I'm sorry. I explained to Tony earlier that there was my other half had the house with the family to like go in a room or something where it would be quiet. So the best place to be was my truck. So that's why I'm sitting in here in the dark. It's really noisy outside of me, but I have my windows up. So please forgive me. That just happened to happen this week. So I wanted to come pay my.
I don't care.
You know what, man?
Not you, Miss Millie. Not you, Miss Millie. I was talking about somebody that made a comment down there talking about I'm the wrong customer. Hell no, I ain't spending no 280 on nobody else's hair.
You don't need it.
I don't need it to be on her either.
If she want it, you're gonna buy it. Believe me. If she want it, you gonna buy it.
No hell I ain't. No hell I ain't. I pay a light bill.
Go ahead,
you gonna pay for that?
Go ahead, Miss Millie.
Legacy.
Ma'am.
Yes, Dayla.
Legacy.
Yes, ma'am.
A.T.L. ho.
You know it's on real big.
Oh wow.
I had to get you, dog.
Oh, got me almost crying. But anyway, were you finished with Millie?
No, you didn't do that to me. No, you didn't do that to me.
Now you see. Now you.
Thank you, Miss Millie.
Yes, Miss Millie, that was right on time. I told you she's part of the family. She's on point. Well, listen, I want to get back to the topic. Nikki had a situation that coincide with today's topic. Is your business or company LGBT friendly? So Nikki's going to tell us a situation that she experienced. So go ahead, Nikki.
Okay, so in 2018, me and my wife were getting married and we was planning everything. So I reached out to my mom who knew some photographers and stuff like that to see if she could give me some advice or refer me somebody. And she did. She called a lady and the lady basically said that because we were a part of the LGBTQ community, she could not go against her Christian morals and values and be the photographer at our wedding. So that was the situation. Like I told Anthony earlier, I didn't feel no type of way because if you don't want my money, I don't want to spend my money with you. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I moved on. My mom then called Miss Millie. This is how I met her. And she referred me for a photographer who came to my wedding and took phenomenal pictures. And Miss Millie actually asked if she could come to my wedding. And that's how we met because she came to my wedding in 2018. And I've known her ever since.
And what was your photographer name?
Miko Gray. Miko Gray. Hey, Miko. Thank you.
Miko's
Phenomenal.
doing her pictures. It's doing TeAma's pictures.
Okay.
You'll see my prenatal maternity photo shoot. That's the only person I get naked in front of.
You ain't got no goddamn business getting naked no damn way. That's where you like that now. Getting damn naked. I ain't hate.
You know what? I was just gonna say something, but I'm gonna say you because we on air.
Oh, that's hey, I meant this. Hey, I don't know what everybody on me for today, but I ain't did nothing. I don't get off. Hey, but I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna say this, Miss Nikki. You know, I think that that was wonderful that you was able to find someone to do your work for your wedding. That was beautiful. And where one door closed, another door opens, and it'd be even more phenomenal when you didn't have to even go through that. But there comes times when you have to really put those people who denied you based off the fact that they stated, that they don't, it's against their morals and religious beliefs to not, it's not like you ask them to videotape you and your wife having intercourse.
Right.
That was you asking them to do what they do, which is take pictures. And sometimes you have to go that extra mile. This is how we prevent that. This is how we get that bigoted attitude, that racist attitude out of our communities, out of our states and cities. Because when you do not blast them, it allows it to carry on again and again. And when you mess around and let them slide, that means that in a sense we didn't protect the next person from being
A victim.
being a victim of racism. And it's sometimes people do be like, what, damn it, you ain't got to take my money. But at the same time, if you just say you was somewhere and you saw an insect or something that you don't like, you're not finna allow that to go around you. You're gonna try to take it on out of them. So the next time you inquire something like that, you have to go ahead and slay the dragon, because that person's still getting money. It's people like the dude who used to own the I want to say the 76ers. He used to be the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. And in the public, he was fine with black people. But what he did was he got with his little mistress, and she recorded him making racial slurs and things like that about black people. And she exposed them. And he no longer is in business. He no longer owns an NBA team, because people are not going for that shit now. And every time you get a chance to stomp on a person like that, you hurt them by hurting their pockets. You take them out of our communities, because regardless if that's your lifestyle or that's you wasn't affecting her life. And for God didn't tell you that you couldn't do business with people because of their lifestyle. That's
exactly what I said when, I didn't know her personally or anything. I had like no information, you know what I'm saying, or anything that was told to me by my mom. So it was like, that's the first thing I said. I was like, well, God didn't say you couldn't take my picture. You know what I mean? Like, that has nothing to do with you personally. When you're running a business, you're bringing personal into business, and you have to keep those two things separate. Regardless of how you feel, you're going to run into all different types of people.
So I want to point out something that to me is the obvious. So after you left her business, her place of establishment or whatever, the next person that came in there, the murderers, the cheaters, the fornicators, the dope boys, the shoplifters, the prostitutes.
Yeah.
She took all their money.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that money good right now.
The gay person that didn't look gay, or she couldn't clock or didn't tell her, she took all their money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Miss Millie, I ain't trying to get you. I ain't trying to get you.
Phenomenal spirit though at your wedding.
Huh?
Miko is awesome.
Oh yeah,
her vibe is the shit.
Miss Millie,
Yeah.
Hearing
I don't
her
know if I
story, hearing her story, how do you think, we're just trying to learn, how do you think she should have handled it and I'm just sitting from a person that's sitting on the outside living. Obviously, she'll do business with me because I'm heterosexual. So being that y'all lifestyles are different, how would you think you would have handled that if it would have happened to you?
What's up,
Hey, Pastor.
Pastor?
that my spiritual mother,
Oh,
my pastor.
How would you have handled that situation, Miss Millie?
So that it actually happened to me, and that's why
You had
I
a
wanted
similar
to do
story.
this show because yeah, it's
Tell your
similar
story, Miss
stories
Millie.
and
Turn your volume up.
well, my volume is up. I don't know why you guys can't hear me.
I
you
can
We
hear
gotta
hear
come
you.
you
closer.
Can you hear me?
a
I
Mm-hmm.
hear
little better.
you.
Yeah.
Maybe it was too far away. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
That's better.
Okay. Um. Oh man, it's like it's happened more than once, but one time in particular, I needed some flyers from a local business owner in. I needed a flyer done from a local business owner in Palm Beach County, and black female business owner, and I had been doing business with them anyway. Um, I needed. They had done tons of flyers for me before. Um, I needed a flyer for LGBTQ event, a show that I was doing, and that's when I really already knew that um, what it would be. I just needed to bring it to the table and ask so to clear the air because one thing I'm learning about black owned businesses or black business owners is that it's like the don't ask, don't tell policy in the military. As long as you don't say anything and you don't tell, it'll never
Yeah.
be. It's a pink elephant in the room, but
Yeah.
nobody's gonna talk about it. So she told me that. Now I'm gonna tell you why I continue to do this with her. And I still do to this day. Um, I continue to do business with her mainly because sometimes I'm a deep thinker. Um, she and her spouse, one, they're saved, they're Christians, whatever you want to call it. From a spiritual aspect, I get it, but they have multiple children. And when the parents, somebody has, it's almost like you're taking from your kids. You taking from your kids' mouth. So I'm like, you know what? I really like her work. I really do. And I still do business with her, which um, my pastor, I've told her this story, so she knows. She absolutely disagrees with me still doing business with that person. And I still do because kids can't make their decisions. Kids have to depend on the adults and the parents. So that is like really literally the reason I still do business with that particular business owner because I think of it like that, because if you and I'm not the only person that they have told this to about the LGBTQ community. So what I'm sick of seeing is this: when we're business owners, one of the first things they teach you is um, to separate you from your business, and how they do that is you have a social security number and your business has an EIN number. So
Mhm.
it's two separate things. So what gets me mad about black business owners, immediately they go when it's LGBTQ, and this doesn't apply to all of them because some of them are um, black, some of them are LGBTQ friendly, some are very few, but some are openly LGBTQ friendly. A lot of them are not. But if you're going to immediately go to something spiritual, like what Nikki was told, what does spirituality have to do with your EIN number? This is regarding your business, not your personal belief. So you got to be able to separate the two. It isn't about what you feel personally. Is your business with the EIN number LGBTQ friendly, not you? And the majority of the time, they deal with it from a personal aspect. So I have no issue with black-owned businesses being unfriendly. If they're not LGBTQ friendly, this is what they need to do. Because I would just like to know, put that on your window at your business, not LGBTQ friendly. It's not a
They
matter of,
won't do it.
just let people know. But they don't
But
have the courage
They
to
A
can't.
lot they can't.
you by law, that's discrimination. So they cannot do that.
I know that. I know that. And I get that part. But if you're going to do that, don't do it on the low. Be like Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is straight up. Everybody knows that Chick-fil-A don't deal with the gay community. You know what I'm saying? So do it. They don't deal with it. And they publicly stated that. It's a form of discrimination, but something is protecting them from getting sued. So it's definitely a way to get around that. If a corporation as big as Chick-fil-A can be open about it, black people can do the same thing. So all I'm saying is, I have no problem with you being LGBTQ unfriendly. It's just that at least post it and let people know instead of being on the low and being on the low and not being friendly. They have the right to do what they want to do. But I'm just so sick of it, and I'm really ready to bring light to it. That's why I wanted to do this show.
Well, Miss Millie, I mean, I hear you, but you haven't. I didn't get the description of what was done that caused her to. I know you went to
They
go
didn't
have
want
a
to put her
flyer made.
LGBT flyers.
Yeah, I got that, but what was said to you
Hmm.
that offended you?
I didn't get offended. I really, it takes a lot to offend me. I didn't get offended. She just told me because of, she didn't really get deep into it, but it was the same reason that Nikki, the lady with Nikki, the photographer, said the same thing. It was pretty much the religious beliefs that um, they're not doing business with it. But what does religion have to do with it? You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're dealing with your EIN number, your business, not your social security number, the person.
Yes. Um, Miss Millie, I'm just getting into this game, and I know you know what you're doing, but I'm rocking with the pastor. You know, um, there's no way that I can continue to do business with someone or worry about if their children are eating when when the first step you did to make sure that her children were eating was you brought business to her and she refused to take it. So if you refuse to take my money that time, you are
You don't want your
refusing me
children to eat.
helping you feed your children to eat.
So what
And
you gonna do? You're
she
gonna go around every. If we were to know everybody, okay, we do business with a lot of people. If you were to know about each and every business, what they you got, you're dealing with racist people you don't know about. So
Mhm.
when we find this stuff out, what are we supposed to do? Stop doing business, and you're not gonna be able
No,
to
Miss
business.
Millie, this is what we do.
Abruptly
This is
stop.
this is this is what we do. We stop because that stops money. We bring their faces to the forefront and let it be known, and then we go get somebody the same way Nikki went and got somebody who was willing to do her job and did it with a smile on their face. Listen, I understand racism exists prominently here and in the world. But what you're not going to do is allow me to know that you feel this way and then expect me to keep on lining your pockets
Yeah.
as if you're going to spit in my face and tell me it's okay, here go a napkin. That's not going to happen. Because if you do
I
that
agree
to
with
me,
Legacy. Oh
Because
shit, it's blowing outside.
if you do this to me, I have to show you that you can never do this again. And my biggest thing is, for all the things our people have fought so hard for, to be able to be considered entrepreneurs, to be able to be business owners, to be able to have our own, to be able to draw our own into our business, and then to be told that you can't do business with me because my life choice. It's like Tony said, my life choice, you're willing to pardon and forgive. I see you don't have a sign where you say you don't support rapists. I mean, where you don't do business with rapists. I see you don't have a sign that a man went and murdered a man in cold blood, went and did 10 years and walked in your building. You're willing to take his pictures. You're willing to do his flyer because you're willing to give him a second chance. But because you are living the way that you lived, which does not affect her, other than the fact that you're taking your money and feeding her children by bringing her business. So when a person does that to you, you have to blast them. Because what I've learned over the years is there are a lot of people who are coming to terms with what life is now. Nobody's in the closet anymore. People are living their lives now. And I'm not going to allow, y'all shouldn't allow anybody to have y'all, especially we're grown. I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about adults. Y'all are grown, paying your own bills that are not asking anybody for nothing, because obviously you didn't ask her to take pictures for free. Nope. You was bringing money.
A coin.
So therefore, you don't need anything for her other than for her to do her damn job.
Right.
So now that you couldn't do your job, you no longer can get my money. Because she like coins too. So when your coin flow slow up, you tend to get a little bit more humble. You tend to say, you know what? Well, maybe God didn't. No, that's you trying to appease other people. She don't deserve your money, Miss Miller. Don't give her a damn dime.
I'm gonna give y'all a story that I had a couple of years back when I used to be the customer service manager at Walmart. I remember one time I was in customer service manager and I was running a shift, and one of the cashiers who was working customer service, she called and said, I need a manager to customer service. So I walked up there and said, you know, what's the situation? What's the problem? She said, the young lady right there wants to speak to a manager. It was a older white female, older, and she looks like she's probably in her maybe 60s or 70s. And she was like the fourth or fifth person in line. So she said, so you're the manager? Looking me up and down. I said, yes, ma'am. What can I do for you? She said, it's a shame y'all got, me standing in line and I got bad legs and bad knees and blah, 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 blah. She went on about it was a health issue. So I said, she said, well, is there a line for me? I said, you're in it. We don't have a special line for those with bad knees and bad legs. She said, well, I can't stand that long. So I said, well, ma'am, I do apologize. I'm so sorry. What I can do for you, I'll get you a chair so that you can sit down while in line. Well, I can't move that chair. It looks like it's heavy. I said, well, ma'am, I'll even go further. I'll stand here the entire time you're in line and I'll move the chair for you. Only you have to do is sit down. Oh, you don't have a better solution than that? I said, no, ma'am. Do you suggest something else? Yes, let me speak to your manager. Who's above you? So I said, okay. So since I was the customer service manager, left chain of command, the next person was the zone manager at the time. So I called Erica, the zone manager. I'm black. That was the issue. I didn't know it at first. So Erica comes up. Erica's Puerto Rican. Erica went far and beyond the call of duty, also trying to help her. She cut Erica off in mid-sentence and says, excuse me, give me your boss. So Erica's like, okay. Neither one of us did nothing wrong. We're trying to appease her. So Erica calls the assistant manager. Tanisha, I think it was Tanisha. I can't remember her name, but anyway, she was black. She runs us over on black to Puerto Rican to black. So she goes, "You're their boss?" So she was, "Yes, ma'am, I am. I'm the manager. What can I do for you?" So now those two managers know how I am about customer service. They know I go far and beyond the Call of Duty to help my customers. That's how I met Legacy in Walmart. So she's like, "Oh, is there a white manager here?" And as soon as she said, now I realize I didn't do anything wrong. I was black. She was Puerto Rican. And now she's black. So as much as Walmart wanting them trillions of dollars they make every year, the assistant manager said, "Ma'am, in all due respect, your service is not needed, no wanted. So I'm going to ask you to leave and put her out."
Yeah. Get your ass out of here.
A.T.L.
Your ass up out of here, you old wrinkle bag. Get your wrinkly ass up out of here.
For anything.
You know, not that we did anything wrong. Is that, you know, sometimes you can't appease everybody. You know, and like I said, you know, you can't feed racists, because she wanted me to open up another line and have a white person help her. No.
Or she would have just been okay with you saying you can go next.
Or skip the people that was already previously there.
Yeah. Because if anybody else wanted to help her, somebody would have said, "Mama, you can go ahead of me," or something like that. But you can't get that type of favor. You can't get God, if we're going to say that, you can't get God to give you that kind of favor when you hold that type of hate in your heart. Right. So he wanted you to stand your old wrinkly ass in the line. That's what he wanted.
Don't do that, because you're going to be old wrinkly one day too.
But I'm going to have some humility, and I'm going to be kind and sweet, so that people see my old ass and say, "Pop, you want to go on and get in front of me? I'm gonna have me some blessings waiting on me. I'm gonna have me some favor." Miss Millie.
They favor ain't fair, but it sure feels good.
You know, I want to say.
Go ahead, Miss.
I want to say this about, and I keep going back to the black-owned businesses, because we're the ones that really keep cutting each other off. And if we continue to cut each other off, like, I'm gonna tell you something about my marketing team. I have 3 businesses that are my marketing team. Most people are familiar with Chinaman Photo, Muck Style Creations in the Glades, and then Tracy Thomas with Stellar Marketing and Business Solutions, which is an LGBT friendly business. So that's my marketing team. So when one doesn't create LGBTQ flyers, and I'm just gonna say, because if you read between the lines, you know which business it was that was not LGBTQ. So when she told me that, Tracy does them. So it's like, whenever I need that material, I still have somebody on board that's black owned that still does my marketing material for me. And I just love all of their work. I've been dealing with all of them for several years now. And it's like, you know, you really need a marketing team. To me, you can't just have one marketing business, one company that does it for you, because they all have different styles of marketing. And start doing business for so long with them, they start taking really good care of you price-wise. So I totally get that part, but somewhere we have to start where, okay, when we cut each other off, no, I'm gonna stay on topic with the LGBTQ friendly, because that's a whole nother show.
Let me tell you, you're still on topic, Miss Millie, but what you're trying to explain is something that I personally cannot take on, because I'm a part of the LGBT. I've been gay my whole life. I fell out of coochie and I rock with it. So
Lord,
you cannot tell me it's something about me that you totally don't agree with, to the point that you will not make money with me, to where I'm going to spend money on you. So it's something about me that you detest, to the point that you won't make your coin, when your whole objective is of starting a business is making money, providing for your life, your family. So with me, to know all the people before me, gays that was killed, stoned. Like my heritage is from the islands. It was literally people burnt in front of people, families, dads stoning their kids because they was gay. I literally have my right to be here, and you telling me I don't even have my right to spend my money with you? I'm sorry, I cannot. Nothing in me would allow me to spend with you based on I know the people before me, white, black, Spanish, Mexican, Cuban, that were gay. They were treated darn near worse than some of the slaves because they didn't have any option to slave for master. They just got killed. And we in 2021 and you got a problem that far? Honey,
Miss Millie,
I love you, but I ain't gonna spend money.
Let me say this, Miss Millie. But when do we start to say that those individuals have to have some accountability themselves on what's on saying, okay, I know how I feel about something, but I'm running a business. That individual, it's not that you gave up on nobody because you decided to find something, that you decided to find somebody else to go to. Internet is big, and I do understand that you like to stand behind black businesses. That's your thing. I love that too. Black is beautiful, all of that. But when you are condemning of my lifestyle, I'm wrong. Then I have two options. One benefits me at that time, and one benefits you. If I tear your ass up for disrespecting me, it benefited me at the time because I feel better. But it didn't benefit me because I went to jail. So if I let you continue on making money with me, but you really have no best interest in, because for somebody to tell me they can't take my money because of my lifestyle, is your inner spirit hates who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You hate me so badly that you couldn't make a dollar with me, and I never did anything to you for you to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
There is somebody to replace that individual, because really, if me and you are friends now, if I hear you talk behind my back, somebody told me you did it, that's a different story. That's a different story. But if I hear it for myself, do you think me and you are going to be friends when I know behind my back you really don't stand for me? No. So now she came from behind your back and told you to your face, I don't really fuck with you.
And you said, okay, but I still want to give you my money.
Yeah.
But that's not. That's
now. What if
you loyal by default, and I love the hell out that. That's all that means. Miss Melly is loyal by default.
What if their business they don't like black people? Would you still done business with them?
If they didn't like black people?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you guys something.
That's a yes or no question.
It's a yes. What? Wait, say it again, because I'm gonna say the answer that you not that. I usually don't go with the majority, so that's what. Say it again. Ask me that
If
question.
this same person you was doing business with, their problem was that your skin color. Would you do a business with them based on they don't prefer to do business with black people, but they'll take your money anyway?
We do it all the time with the churches. We do it all the time with the churches, and you guys know that. It's like the answer to that question. I'm gonna say yes because we're doing it. We're doing it with other kinds of businesses, and we know it. It's certain things that we know. If we go to church and the tithing plate goes around, how many times do you go to church and you hear the pastor? They love to use the gay life as an example of the sin. How many times do you still put your tithes into the plate? So it's like, what's the difference from doing that and what I choose to do to continue to do business with people? We pay tithes and offerings for those of us that go to church. So many people are doing that know they're sinning, and they know that it's a sin, and we know that that's against what the Bible is saying. if you're looking at it from a religious aspect, but we continue to give our tithes and offering or support the ministry or do something like that. We know that. So what's the difference between that and me support open like she told me that she doesn't and I still continue to patronize her business? What's the difference between that?
The difference between that is, which let me help all y'all religious people that love to say whatever you want to say. At the beginning of the day, when you wake your behind up, before you even wake up, you're a sinner. No other sin is better than the other.
I agree.
So no matter what it is that you're doing when you come in the house of God, everybody and their mama, including the man that's praying over your head, is a sinner. Mm-hmm. So you're still up under the fold of the sinner because you're gay. One sin ain't less than another. Because I can tell you this, it's a lot of gay people that made it in heaven and those that sitting in church 365, honey, they won't even scratch heaven's doors. That says it in the Bible. Lord, Lord, did I not prophesy? Get away from me, you workers of lawlessness. So, honey, don't go by that bull stuff. The Bible itself tells you half of the ones that sit in that church won't even be able to grace God on that day.
Right, right. And I totally agree with that. But a lot of us do business still with certain things that we know. So,
but let me tell you, and that is a form of ignorance and blindness that has been put upon these black people to where it's generation to generation that's handed down. If I know you don't deal with me, I am going to go find somebody that actually genuinely want to deal with me. Uh-huh. Us as black people, we accept so many things. That's why I say us as black people, they're afraid of us. Show me one where in history where black people have been hateful, like just outgoing. We was cooking for you, breastfeeding your kids, and we ain't poison all y'all. Bitch, we on the low totem pole of like mean, vicious. Black people are some of the most humble, forgiving, turn the other cheek. They took that Bible real literally. Your enemy slap you in the face, turn the other cheek. Bitch, you only got two cheeks, so how many times you gonna keep turning? Good luck on that one.
Well, for me, Miss Millie, Miss Millie, I hear you deeply. But my thing is, you're right. We do spend our money with people who behind closed doors, they may say those things and feel that way. I believe roughly 90% of I'm just gonna say America that is owned corporately by the vast majorities of white people and Jewish people feel that black folks are lazy, black folks don't want anything out of life, and they need to pull themselves up by their bootstrap. But as long as they don't tell me to my face how they genuinely and truly feel, yes, they're getting my money by default because they haven't expressed their true feelings to me. But the day that you express your true feeling to me is the day that I stop supporting you. When you decide that you are ready to accept how another grown person live their life and understand that this personal stuff has to sit outside of business, that's when you can say that to me. But to say, oh, I just don't want to deal with you based off of this right here, that person is not deserving of your money. And they really don't need to have a business because they're not the type of person that's going to help the black community grow anyway economically, because you're going to ostracize you're going to ostracize a large proportion of money that can grow in the black community and circulate, because so now you've sent those black individuals to go look for a great Jewish or Caucasian person that don't mind taking this money because they know how to shut their personal feelings off to make their lives financially better. I just don't feel like she's deserving of you. And if she's not deserving of you openly as a friend, Tony is my friend, TeAma is my friend. Miss Nikki is the first time on you too, Miss Millet. I'm the only straight person on this goddamn podcast tonight. And I'm not without a problem because it doesn't affect me. And I will defend anybody on this stage physically if we're somewhere from any type of bigotry and hatred because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and you have to stop bigots in their tracks. And the first, I learned a long time ago that you really can't defeat Caucasians and Jews by physicalness because they got money. They can buy bigger guns and stuff, but they can't buy bigger guns if we don't take them bigger money. So you hurt them financially. That's when they start to recognize where they're wrong, their errors come from. But if you think that just letting them continue on making money off of you and they don't respect you, then you're doing a disjustice or an injustice to, thank you, Pastor, you're doing an injustice to the growth of the Black community.
Well, you and I talk. We do so much justice to ourselves with our money.
Right.
It has nothing to do with LGBTQ being Black or nothing like that. We just spend our money very foolishly, a lot of Black people. But I'll use another example. Like, I don't know if you guys heard about the story with Publix recently, where I think the heiress of Publix, she's something with the heiress of Publix. I can't remember her name, but she made a large donation to the Trump campaign, and out that she made this big donation. And Publix is like my favorite store, man. And a lot of Black people patronize Publix. A lot of people, period, patronize Publix. But okay, so now what do you do? What do you do? Because that's not representing everyone in the corporate level of Publix. So does her action, that one big, huge donation that she made, I forgot how much, I think it was 6 figures, to the Trump campaign, does that speak for the whole Publix? Did you just stop supporting Publix because she decided to make that donation? Because now, I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, but I'm seeing Black people all over social media, now they're ready to boycott Publix. In my opinion, and me again, I usually don't go with the majority unless I really am in agreement. Why? Why are you going to stop going to Publix now? Why now?
Hold on. On that thought, I'm going to go to a quick commercial.
I was involved briefly with a married man who believed he had the courage to leave his wife to be with me and to live his truth. This isn't the typical story of a married man promising to leave his wife for a secret lover. Rather, this is a story in part about a gay man who knew he was gay before he got married, but chose to marry a woman because he didn't know how to break free. Rocky and I met on a gay social media site 3 months after I returned to the East Coast to live, and just 11 months after he was married. At the time we met, he was living and working in Dubai as a contractor for the government on a military base, while his wife was stationed in Tallahassee, Florida, where they had a home. In one of the first messages he sent me, Rocky shared that he was married, but that he had regrets. He explained that he had come out to his mother and siblings when he was 18 years old. He sat there. To listen to more of One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure, a memoir continued, visit audible.com.
If you don't know T.S. Madison, the internet queen and icon, get ready. Yes! She's not just chasing superstardom.
I want to have my own version of the talk, the real, the view.
She demands it.
You're going to build a whole entire empire out of this.
And with her bestie, Tiffany, on board.
Tiffany, you look so beautiful this morning. Your tatas are sitting so high.
This journey's gonna be a trip.
I just got a shiver in my back and it ain't a man.
The T.S. Madison Experience premieres Thursday, March 4th on WeTV.
Just-in-time accessories definitely have the bling and everything in between. TeAma Copeland is your independent paparazzi agent. Join her live online Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join her on Facebook at TeAma Sweetness Copeland, or her fan page, Just in Time Accessories, or you can find her on YouTube at TeAma Herice. That once again is Just in Time Accessories. Everything is only $5, nickel and lead-free jewelry. TeAma Copeland, independent paparazzi agent. Just in Time Accessories definitely have the bling and everything in between. Check her out.
Asher says that the person that y'all were speaking about, Miss Millie, she helped to sponsor the, I guess the January 6th Trump rally, and the amount was $300,000.
Oh, 300,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's you guys' take on that? I know it's not LGBTQ friendly, but that's just another example.
When it comes to politics, because let's be crystal clear, it's a whole bunch of black people all the way down to Waka Flocka mom. Miss Deb is a big Trump supporter. There's a lot of people of many different shades that want Donald Trump just based on businessman. So to me, that don't seem that, okay, she's a racist. It's just certain things that he's going for that she's into. Like the rich staying rich and don't have to pay all these taxes. So in the bracket that she's in, she needs Trump. So I would have looked at that totally different just because my education is up there to know, honey, these white folks got some ulterior motives to why they want his dumb behind that office. The poor pay more, we pay less. Yeah. Donald Trump version is the rich stay rich.
I'm gonna say this, Ms. Miller, to that statement. I'm gonna say this to that statement, Ms. Miller. She's not the president of Publix, right?
Well, she's in the family that owns Publix. She's a part of that family. She's like a heritage.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. She was just the forefront person that got an okay from the family to say it was okay for you to do that. So I'm not gonna say that she did that without being advised by somebody who is the main person that's in Publix or over Publix and own it. She got an okay to do that from mainstream that said or corporate that said it was okay because she's in the family. She's not gonna take that leap without getting an okay from those individuals. So all she did was became the head or the fire starter to take the brunt of what was said, what she donated or what the family donated in general. You know that I don't think that.
Listen, Legacy. What Publix actually says is to what Pastor Snaps is saying. They say her decision in politics has no bearing on Publix as a corporation. So no,
did it come out of her pocket? Did it come out of her own pocket?
Yes, that's out of her own pocket.
Did nobody should have anything to say about it, because if it came out of her own personal bank account, then that's her donation.
But I want everybody to be crystal clear. The number one thing that Donald Trump stands for was for rich people to have lower taxes. It will make no sense if I'm on a bracket up here that I myself, this black woman right here, that I would not vote for this man if I had the money. But me being the little man on the totem pole and you want me to pay all these taxes and you pay less than me, hell no, I'm not gonna vote for you. That's just dumb. So in her defense, no racism, no nothing. Just looking at my money, my cap. Why would I not want this man to run another? If I got millions of dollars, that's 300,000. I'm gonna get that 4/4 and 4 more years with him running, just by me not having to pay taxes.
Well, not much anyway. Yeah.
So please don't always look at it on black and white. Look at it as
I would definitely. If it came out of public bank account and someone can prove that, you know, this came from, but if she did it out of her own money that she's earned and she's supporting Donald Trump, then I have no issues with that. As long as Publix, as long as, I mean, the vast majority of the vast majority of Americans, African Americans, don't do no shopping in public. So don't do no public shopping. They do Walmart shopping. So you know, I don't see why the black community would even be in a. See, that's my thing. We have too many plights. We have too many plights for bullshit that we don't concentrate on what we need to concentrate on. I don't see you marching and boycotting because your kids' schools are lacking school books. I don't see you marching to get better, to get rid of all the violence in your community, to get people in here that's gonna oversee your community to make sure that your children can go outside and play in the goddamn park again without having to worry about drive-bys. See, if you're gonna march for something that's going to change everything for the better. Don't march about somebody donating no goddamn $300,000 of their own money. That's her public. That's her legal right to donate from her own pocket. Period. Want to march because somebody? Them damn people don't give a damn if you Negroes don't come in there and buy the 99-cent loaf of Publix bread. Them goddamn people worried about. They worried about, like I told you earlier, Miss Billy, and I told you, Tony, it's the bottom line. They look at the bottom line budget. And if that woman worked and saved up $300,000, if that was her life savings and she wanted to get Trump back in office and she loved that man that much, you Negroes scraped up all type of pennies and dimes and nickels, went up on the couches and all that shit to get Barack back in office, who never done nothing for his people. I at least, and I'm not a Trump supporter, but I admire the man for at least saying that the rich gonna stay rich. I can admire him for saying that because Barack ain't did a goddamn thing for black people in 8 years of being in office.
You know what? Listen here. We was on the same team. Now you about to get your black ass cussed out. You always on some damn fuck.
TeAma.
That's why he was saved, because he don't be wanting his eyes to pop out when you cuss him out.
TeAma.
No, don't have a peace offering with me. You talking about that day.
Just tuning in, just let you know that we have just being there. The proud owner, CEO of Marky Job TV, so you can follow her on Facebook, her Facebook Lives and interviews. She's doing her things. And also, we're also joined by a person I just met tonight, Miss Nikki. Miss Nikki is the CEO and president of Signature Hair Boutique. You find her, where can they find you again, Miss Nikki?
Instagram _Signature Hair Boutique, Facebook at Signature Hair Boutique, and my website, www.signaturehairboutique.com.
Damn, yeah. And I forgot to put this up. But for those of you that's in the Riviera Beach, West Palm Beach area, they're having a job fair. What is that? Thursday, February 25th at 10 a.m. So you can find this information also on Marky Job TV. So if you can't see or read it there and it's not clear, but just go over to Marky Job TV on Facebook. And the flyer is there and it's very legible in case you can't read it here. So I just had to share that information.
And Legacy, if you so worried about Barack, why don't you go find a job? Because he did his job.
I ain't worried about it. That man ain't did a goddamn thing.
What's up, Ezra?
Ezra!
Hey,
Ezra, you should be on the panel tonight.
What'd you say, Miss Millie?
I wanted to say this too. You know, the Republican Party. I became a Republican. I am a Republican, and I became a Republican after Barack Obama. I voted for Barack Obama, but I started questioning why was I a Democrat, because I was raised a Democrat, and my mom. And most black people, we are raised Democrats, the majority of us, and we don't know why. They just tell us to register as Democrats. So I compared the two, and I looked at both belief systems, and my mind fell more toward the Republican system, belief system. Now, Republicans do not support the LGBTQ community, and I'm very aware of that. Very aware of it. They're not going to support anything openly, not openly. I'm quite sure it's a lot done behind closed doors and under the table, but openly, they do not support same-sex anything. So, but if I was to go by everything else, I don't. I mean, I support it on the Republican belief system, not the candidate. It has nothing to do with the candidate. It's the belief system. So a lot of times, like I said, I don't take offense to don't support LGBT.
You fading out, Miss Millie.
I'm gonna support.
It's official, Miss Millie. I'm coming on your show and I'm interviewing you on your show. On your own show. I'll go interview you. Because I am very intrigued how long have you been gay?
All my life. All my life.
Okay, so all your life you've been gay. I'm 38. Yeah. You older than me. So 40 plus years.
How you know you older? That lady older than you? That lady can be 20 damn one.
First and foremost, my mother knows her. Secondly, my auntie June know her. No, I just came in contact with her through talk.
So do you know her?
So I know of her. I do not know her. We haven't hung out enough for me to tell you I know her. I just found out she was a Republican.
Aren't you 21, Miss Millie? Aren't you 21?
Legacy. Behave.
Let me pay him no mind. But I am intrigued because a lot of stuff that is based on you is stuff that you like are passive over. So I'm like, oh yeah, honey, I'm gonna do a new show. We gonna be on your show with me interviewing you. Let me know when.
I'm not coming with her, Miss Millie.
Oh no, you're not allowed to come. We want a deep, serious conversation. You're not allowed to come. Sorry. We still A.T.L, but you can't come.
If more black people were straightforward and really told the truth about their beliefs, like it's with the KKK. I have no issue with them if just say what you do and who you are. It's just people being straightforward with what they are, and at least we know who we're dealing with, and we can choose whether we want to deal with them or not. That's the only thing with me. It's like the LGBTQ. Let me know so I'll know who to refer to your businesses and who not to refer to your businesses if you're not going to do business with them. That's all.
Let me tell you, if you don't support me in no form, I'm not referring shit if they gay straight up in between. Like, Miss Millie, you know what? I'm going to hang out with you a lot more because we going to change this. They say you can't teach your own dog new tricks, but I'm going to teach you some new tricks.
Why you keep calling that damn lady old? That lady 21.
Legacy. Miss Millie don't want your little ass, little boy. Go get in the corner.
Oh my.
Just to remind you guys,
Miss Millie, he trying to do that sweet talk thing on you. Don't play with the little boy. The little boy is a cougar chaser too. Don't play with the little boy.
And you calling her a cougar?
No, your ass is.
You just said I'm a cougar. She's a cougar. I don't know what's going on with you tonight.
Let me know when I get interviewed.
Tony.
Yes.
Put her ass in timeout.
For what?
Listen, hold on. Just make sure you tune in Tuesday. Tuesday we're interviewing. The topic Tuesday is: would you sleep with someone that's HIV positive or full-blown AIDS? So we're gonna have Rodney. Rodney's an HIV counselor and tester. He's going to be on the show as our specialist to answer any medical questions from the standpoint. And then also we're going to be joined by
Melvin Boyd.
Melvin Boyd, I forgot the name. Rodney
Let
Boyd.
me tell you, if y'all want a trainer that will literally burn your calories, have your legs hurting, have your butt hurting, your gut. Let me tell you, this man know how to work every muscle in your body. On God.
So they're going to be our two guests on Tuesday.
Do it every morning. Yes.
What the
Hey, look, okay. You see how he over there sweet talking Miss Millie child. I'm watching him, girl. I'm watching that ass. We ain't falling for it, legacy. You gonna leave baby daddy alone? She off limit.
So you just ain't gonna put her ass in the closet?
No.
Oh,
because it's actually intriguing how she's able to separate herself from a lot of things when it comes to certain things. And you'll be surprised, there's a lot of black people that are like that. I plead the fifth.
Ezra.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
How's it going?
I'm doing
well.
You
saw your comment from my cousin.
He just got through getting some off his tongue.
Tony, go back to Delilah thing. Delilah left a comment in there for you.
She talking about the other dude that Tony showed.
Trina.
You nasty.
No, fool. No, she not. The other dude.
Look at that comment right there.
Let me tell you, we all know him for forever, fool. Melvin Boyd, that's like our dad. Trust me, he's not no young buck. He just takes very good care of himself.
How am I no good?
I know, right?
Ezra.
Yes, sir.
Could you just let the panel know your brother is good?
Man, hey, look, man. Anybody that I call my brother is good, and you can take my word. If I say a duck can pull a wagon, hitch him up.
Hitch that bastard up, then.
So, give me your definition of good. He's a good hoe. He's a good what?
The brother is a stand-up. If you want to know the truth, just ask him.
Yeah. Hey, look, Tony, I got you, Ezra. So basically, he will make me feel like I'm the only one when I'm one of six. You right. Stand up in it. Sound like Legacy, that's for you too.
Absolutely. And Ezra.
See, you should have left our Miss Millie alone. What a comments coming.
Anyway, so any more discussion on tonight's topic, guys?
No, not for me. I had a good show tonight. Miss Nikki came in and did her thing, and Miss Millie Mill.
Yes, Nikki
we could have put TeAma.
Thank y'all for having me.
And Nikki gonna figure out how to get one of her wigs over these dreads.
We could do that.
Tell her for $770 you can do it.
That's fine. You take credit cards because the Legacy's gonna be in the building.
Oh
yes, I do.
Listen, then it's gonna be $7.70. It's gonna be $7. It will be $7.70. $7.70.
And we are LGBTQ friendly. We love everybody, so anybody can shop. It ain't no
Miss Billy,
none of that.
You see how he's fronting. And when we was at your business, all you did was hand me your credit card with no problem. His credit card. You guys, while he out here working for the community.
Hold on for a minute. I got something for you. Hold on. I got something for you. Hold on.
Hey, look, credit card was in my head. Fool, don't play with me. He be trying to act like a bad dude. He is actually a real full gentleman.
I went and got me a nice few pieces.
Nice. Okay.
So what I did was
we was not supposed to be selling anything. We was doing a show. He wanted to show he could be a full-fledged gentleman from beginning to end. Open up the car door. I never had to lift anything. Tony, why you keep putting these things up here when somebody talking with your rude ass?
Because he's telling you to close your mouth.
Nah, because we telling your secrets. Pulled out my chair. He pulled out my chair.
Yes,
from beginning
I am
to
a gentleman.
So, honey,
I don't have to like you a lot to be a gentleman.
What I want to know is what's the history behind
he loves me.
Y'all always going at it.
Yeah,
the history behind us.
Yeah,
he loves abuse. You ever met a man that just love that woman that's gonna get in their ass and they be like, "Well, I gotta keep her around. She keep me on my toes." I'm that chick.
You definitely do that. You definitely do that. That's how it kind of was when I first met Ezra, and Ezra.
Nah.
Ezra was my boss when I.
He better be nice to me. I'm driving way down there to get him a pie from mom.
You giving that? Listen. I met Ezra. He was my boss, and you know, Ezra is a real stern person too. And me and Ezra, you know, we had to do this a couple of times before we got the understanding that we were really brothers. So yeah, I do. You do keep me on my toes. You're definitely a great partner. But I will push your ass down when you have that baby.
See, and I was so nice to him. He was hungry, Tony. I fed him. Because we all ate breakfast that morning. See, I can't be nice to black folks.
Let me make this real quick announcement. I should have said this at the beginning of the show. I slipped my mind. But the whole month of February, we're honoring and uplifting Black-owned businesses. So if you're a Black-owned business, we have one spot open. So email me. There's the email right down on the screen right now. Email me, inbox me, or Legacy or TeAma. If you're a Black-owned business and want to be featured or highlighted for the month of February. Well, the month of March is National Women's, what is it, Miss Miller? Women's Business Month?
Women's History Month.
Women's History Month?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's March is for women that have done like great things in America history, in the history of America.
Okay, so for the month of March, Legacy, your homework, we're going to be featuring women, not necessarily Black women, but just women in general that have done stuff for the month of March.
Yeah.
April, I don't have nothing yet for April. May is Mother's Day month. So what I need for May, what I want to do,
I want to celebrate holiday.
I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the world. We're on World Wide Web. What I need y'all to do for May is I need kids and their mothers to send in a 5-minute video, 5 minutes or less. The child is going to tell why they think their mother is so great. And we're going to show that video on every one of our shows, because I think it's 8 or 9 shows in the month of May. So you're honoring your mother for the month of May. So send your video to the email that's right there below. In June, that's Father's Day month. So we want to see these great fathers out there too. So again, children and fathers send in a video, and the child with their father is going to tell why they think their father is such a great dad. It doesn't have to be a Black father, but we just want to see the great fathers out there. Because fathers are usually the ones that's underrated or not exposed, always mother. So May is Mother's Day, so send your videos. In June is Father's Day.
And June is Gay Pride Month too.
For Mother's Day, all the women get is children. Take your crayons out and just write Happy Mother's Day. We're not buying any diamonds. We're not buying any wigs. We're not doing anything.
Put him in timeout.
We are Jehovah's Witness on holidays.
We're saving all of that for the great fathers for Father's Day. This year, we're spending that goddamn money on the great fathers. That'll what the mothers get it every year. Say, write them, make them some macaroni things, and give it to the mamas this year. Don't give it to the dad. We don't want no macaroni puzzles.
Don't do that.
No, we don't want that.
Also, June is also National Gay Pride Month.
Exactly.
So also in the month of June, I'm going to try and get some people from the LGBT community to be interviewed on the show. I'm going to reach out to a couple of people. So if you know anybody that's in the LGBT community, like the T.S. Madisons, the Terrell and Jarius, the Terrell from the Terrell Show, I Am Zoe. Y'all know Zoe from Facebook and from YouTube. He was also on Wild 'N Out. So if you know any Black individuals from the LGBT community, reach out to them and let them know that they need to be over here during the month of June. So yeah, we got LGBT in June, fathers in June, mothers in May, and women in March.
Them crazy behind Leos in July. I got you covered for that one.
Oh, there's another birthday I forgot. TeAma's mother. Valentine's
My
Day.
Valentine's Day, baby. Hey, mommy.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, love. Happy birthday.
Good night, Pastor. Good
night, Pastor.
Legacy, I'm going to get my mom's sweet potato pies. So I'm going to call you, and you're going to have to meet me to get yours.
Okay, well, Tony, so what you scared to leave it with Tony?
No more sweets. His head already big.
Okay.
Okay.
Listen, this is my disclaimer. If I leave it there, and my best friend, which is Junior, eat your shit, I don't want to hear nothing.
We're gonna find out if your best friend.
You know.
We're gonna find out if Tony furniture can move around in that goddamn house. That's what we're gonna find out. That's what we're gonna goddamn find out.
I cannot. Don't come for my best friend.
TeAma, hold on. But Miss Millie, before you go, you know we had a long talk today, right, Miss Millie?
Yes, very good.
But guess what, Miss Millie? But guess what I found out, Miss Millie?
A.T.L. ho.
You know.
Hey, baby, I shunama.
I love it, Miss Millie. Yes, ma'am. She be on it.
She'll skip a beat.
Be on it. Be on the ass. Yes.
Who raised him?
I think he raised himself. His mama was hard at work. She like, girl, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
She raised in the wild.
Well, for everybody, go ahead, Miss Billy.
I just want to say thank you to Nikki because this was really last minute for her, and I want to say thank you for making the time, even though it was last minute. I really appreciate you coming on, and tell
Me
Regina
too.
hello. Regina is her wife, so to make sure you tell her that we said. And thank you.
Hey, wifey.
I will.
On the show.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Nikki, for coming on at last minute and popping in.
And you'll see all three of us go follow you.
And guess what else?
We're gonna be all in your business.
Miss Nikki.
Come on in my business.
Miss Nikki, yeah. But guess what, Miss Nikki?
No. No.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, Ms.
Listen, but being serious, I do want to tell you, Miss Nikki, thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for tell your wife we appreciate her for allowing us to steal you for a couple of hours. I know y'all are pretty much preparing for y'all luxurious Valentine's Day. Gonna go get you a little $600 wig on your head, So I appreciate you coming out, spending a little time with us, and we definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without you two nice ladies coming out doing y'all thing tonight, and we appreciate you, and I do too.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, love you, Miss Millie.
Family. So
thank you.
We'll see you probably on another show real soon.
Okay. And tell your wifey, Miss Millie, I say what's up. Sorry that she's going through it.
So on that note,
hold on. A.T.L. ho!
My nigga 2 for the GOAT, these other niggas basic.
Say what? No nigga wrist a silver chain around the neck. Say what? A.T.L show coming for their neck. Say what? We gon' say it all different from the rest. Say what? A.T.L show, know that we the best. Say what? Yeah, who was that? A.T.L show coming live, speak about the world. Know that we is still. We got Anthony, TeAma, Legacy, the podcast. On God, we're taking over with the A.T.L show.
My nigga 2 for the GOAT, these other niggas basic.
Say what? No nigga wrist a silver chain around the neck. Say what? A.T.L show coming for their neck. Say what? We gon' say it all different from the rest. Say what? A.T.L show, know that we the best. Say what? Yeah, who was that? A.T.L show coming live, speak about the world. Know that we is still. We got Anthony, TeAma, Legacy, the podcast. On God, we're taking over with the A.T.L show.